Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Wednesday as we had inflation data come out. And in direct reaction to that, the DXY dropped below this extremely important support level at 95.885, causing Bitcoin today to be up over 2%, Ethereum up over 4%. But that's all that's on the table. Look at what's happening here to some altcoins. SHIB to the US dollar pairing breaking out of this falling wedge pattern. Cardano starting to break above an extremely important level at $1.25. And we're starting to see some of the puzzle pieces that we've been monitoring here over the last few weeks tilting back into the favor that the total market cap can continue further up. Bitcoin dominance rejecting its 50-day moving average. And we're starting to see this chart that factors in altcoins outside of Ethereum trying to move up further so it can break out of this ascending triangle. There's a lot of puzzle pieces to talk about today. We'll cover Ethereum and the total market cap as well. But first, I want to dive into Bitcoin here. We'll take some live audience questions as we always do in our live streams. But right now, Bitcoin is inside of the range of 44,800 as a major resistance and 41,950 as a major support level. And so I want to keep that on the table. Now, the question is, are we seeing the potential short-term bottom of this downside move for Bitcoin to continue back further above its 200-day moving average, potentially getting itself back above the 20-week moving average, with the 200-day sitting at 48,400 right now, and the 20-week moving average, which is an extremely important checkpoint that we want to eventually conquer in the more macro term, sitting at 52,400. We're currently at 43,600. And so the likelihood, in my opinion, that we could get back towards that 20-week moving average is going to become more probable and in favor of the bulls if we can get above 44,800 at this point, because we know this right here is an extremely important checkpoint that opens up the door for Bitcoin to retest 50,000 US dollars. So if we get hourly and 4-hour confirmations above 44,800, we could expect 50,000 to come on the table and for us to get back towards that 200-day moving average. Now, if at any point in time we come back below 41,950, we're going to have to expect potential downside, because at this point we're getting our best opportunity to see this reverse to the upside. And if we cross back below 41,950, that would be a very big sign of weakness. And then we could expect 38,000 and this lower price range to come on the table, with 34,788 being the worst case scenario for downside. But I don't want to talk about downside. It's time to talk about upside targets. On the 4-hour chart, notice how we are now facing this Ichimoku cloud that we were watching that was acting as resistance. And if we get towards 44,800, it puts us fully above the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. So that's also another reason why 44,800 is more important than ever. And as I've been saying, because the puzzle pieces are still in the favor of altcoins, we're seeing momentum here with a lot of altcoins. Now, I want to address this really quick. For Bitcoin to get towards this monthly open, it's sitting at 46,200. I think this could be a potential short-term upside target that's on the table for Bitcoin to at least come and retest this area. And guess what? If we get towards that monthly open to retest it, now we're fully above 44,800. We can potentially see 44,800 turn into a support level rather than a resistance, and for a continuation of us to even get above this monthly open at 46,000. I think that that's potentially what the short-term price action could look like. One prediction that I'm going to just throw out there, but 44,800 is going to be that major level that we have to get above if we want to assume further upside. On the volume, notice here on the hourly, this is what we use to confirm the potential bottom. When we first crossed below 40,000, we saw some hourly buy volume, institutional type of buy volume. Right now, we're seeing nice spurs of buys coming in, and we're not seeing sellers react to the buy pressure. And so I think that as we start to see more and more of this buy pressure come in, it's going to keep stair-stepping Bitcoin to higher price levels as long as we don't see sell pressure come in reaction to the buy volume. And so we're not seeing anything significant when it comes to volume. We're not seeing the craziest institutional type of accumulation here at these price levels. I would still say that there's still a lot of sell pressure when it comes to the institutional basket of volume, because we've only seen large spikes of sell pressure. We haven't seen large spikes of buy pressure on these institutional time frames like the 6 hour, but on the micro time frames, we're starting to get the early signs that we could potentially be reversing here. And so that monthly open retest is on the table for us to get above 44,800. And I want to talk about this total cryptocurrency market cap chart, because guess what? We're already pretty much coming to retest this 200-day moving average. And so the total market is showing more strength than Bitcoin. And that's not a surprise. That happens when there's a continuation in altcoin season, and when the thesis is that the total market cap wants to continue to price discovery and see further highs, we're going to see strength with the total market cap against Bitcoin. And then that would also assume altcoins are going to show strength, with the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart being the leading indicator for us on the Snipers channel. For the rest of the altcoins, guess what? We're seeing exactly what we've been waiting to see, which is this market structural previous resistance now acting as a support for the first time. We saw a garden variety retest of this area right around that 100-day moving average at 75,000 Satoshis. And now we're seeing upside with the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, allowing the Ethereum to US dollar price to also come towards this 200-day moving average, which guess what? It's showing confluence here with 34.54, which is the major resistance that if Ethereum can conquer and get above 34.54, the likelihood that we could continue into price discovery to see new all-time highs becomes way more favorable and probable in the bullish case. And so I think that 34.54 is going to be an extremely important breakout level to watch for Ethereum. It's an extremely important area here, and that's clearly proven here with the 200-day moving average now showing confluence in this area. And Bitcoin dominance, as we've been expecting, as much as we saw a little bit of upside recently, crossing back below 40%. The reason we've been expecting weakness here is we recently breached yearly lows with Bitcoin dominance. And so coming back above is totally garden variety market behavior. But the macro is already clear that we could potentially and easily see further downside with Bitcoin dominance, which is actually a pretty good thing, because that assumes the altcoins, including Ethereum and outside of Ethereum, continue further up. And this chart is still extremely bullish, seeing some upside today. It looks like it's at some point or another going to break out of this ascending triangle, which would be huge for altcoins. Now, why is this all happening? Well, the DXY is starting to correct. So one thing that we have to monitor right now is this ascending support level for the DXY. As you can see, we're currently testing this area. And so if we breach below this extremely important ascending support level, what we could assume is that we potentially have a slowdown now with the strength of the dollar, and that traditional markets, the cryptocurrency market, could continue further up if we see a breakdown with the DXY. And this would actually be garden variety market behavior for the DXY to have breached a major macro market structural support level after what we saw in 2020, and the dollar seeing a lot of weakness in 2020 and 2021. Recently starting to reverse. Guess what? We already got back to test this extremely important support that broke as a resistance now. And so in the macro, we could potentially assume that this might be the most amount of upside the DXY sees in the short term to midterm, and that would also be in favor of the cryptocurrency market continue up. So one thing we need to monitor right now is this move for the DXY going to be truly breaking this important ascending support level? If that's the case, the strength of the dollar could have potentially topped out in the midterm, and that could be extremely bullish into Q2 and Q3 for the cryptocurrency market and traditional markets. S&P 500, I've been telling you guys, has stayed bullish. We are above the 20-week moving average, now retesting previous weekly open. If we get above this area here at 47.15 on the E-mini futures contract, we could see continued price discovery for the S&P 500, assuming that Bitcoin also wants to get above its 20-week moving average. Now, we're also seeing a reaction in commodities to what's happening to the DXY, which further legitimizes the move. Notice how gold moving up right now, and US oil potentially retesting these previous yearly highs where we topped out around the $85 per barrel level, currently at $82 per barrel. Are we going to be seeing continued momentum to the upside? Is inflation going to continue to affect US oil prices? I think that that could certainly be on the table, and that would also be extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Now we're finally starting to see altcoins move as well, which is an extremely positive sign because that also further legitimizes this move. And I say that with Cardano right now breaching back above $1.25. This is an extremely important level. It puts back $1.50 on the table for Cardano to come back towards this extremely important area. And we're also seeing this translate with the charts that are against Bitcoin. The Cardano to Bitcoin chart back above its 50-day moving average for the first time since September of 2021. That's an extremely positive sign for the momentum of altcoins, with Cardano just being one example. And then Shiba Inu, check this out, breaking out of this falling wedge, this descending flag, whatever you want to call it. That's an extremely positive sign. That shows that there's some strength on the retail end of things. And even the SHIB against Bitcoin chart breaking out of this descending channel, that's also a very positive sign for the momentum of altcoins. So everything has today kind of come together, it seems like. Everything is tipping back into the favor of the bulls. And I think that that is an extremely positive sign for the cryptocurrency market. More than ever, we want to monitor this range between 44,800 as the major resistance and 41,950 for Bitcoin. But we're already starting to see the best case scenario come into fruition with Bitcoin staying above 41,950. Now, another piece of confirmation that we want to look for is going to be some 6-hour buy volume to compare to the amount of sell pressure that topped Bitcoin out around that $69,000 level. You can see when it comes to volume, we've yet to really see that. And that's going to be another confirmation that we could have potentially seen a bottom. So a lot happening. I'm going to take a couple questions from our live audience. Let me pull up our live stream and then we'll wrap up this video. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you guys appreciate this content. I certainly appreciate each and every one of you tuned in the channel. Freedom Channel says this thing is going to roll over. Big A says, will Bitcoin dominance continue to fall and start another altcoin cycle? I truly think that Bitcoin dominance is hinting that it wants to see further lows. It wants to show weakness. And I say that because it's quite clear at this point. In 2017, Bitcoin dominance was extremely correlated to the strength of the dollar. But this year, it's been a completely different scenario. And that could be due to the fundamentals of this bull cycle being a lot different than the last bull cycle. Now we're seeing DeFi, GameFi, NFTs, and a lot of use case. And so the DXY and Bitcoin dominance, I believe, have already decoupled. And with Bitcoin dominance breaching lows recently, that tells me that it can easily see further downside. And if that's the case, that does mean that we'll see a continuation in altcoin season. We'll see a continuation with the total market cap potentially moving further up, because if altcoins are going to be expected to gain dominance in the market, that's new liquidity and new capital that could potentially be coming into the market into Q2 of 2022, driving altcoins further up. And I don't believe Bitcoin has too much downside on the table at these current prices, being below the 200-day moving average, with the fundamentals still clearly bullish for Bitcoin. We're seeing a lot of news shift back into the favor of the bulls. I think that the likelihood that if altcoins continue further up, Bitcoin will also continue further up. It just won't see as much upside. It's a larger market cap. And so the opportunity, I believe, is still going to be in altcoins here. And that proves to be true, with the Bitcoin dominance still showing weakness, the altcoins outside of Ethereum still showing strength, and the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart leading the altcoins outside of Ethereum to see further upside. And that's clearly shown with the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. And for the comment of the individual that said that you think that things are just going to roll over a Freedom Channel, I don't believe that that is the case right now. I think that we're truly starting to test important levels. And I think that's clear on the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. We're back inside of the cloud. Now we get above 44,800. We're fully above the Ichimoku cloud. And this Ichimoku cloud in the past has rejected Bitcoin. And so right now, it's not rejecting Bitcoin. We're seeing some strength. We've seen many rejections here. And so I think that being inside of this cloud right now is a very positive thing in the short term, to assume that we're not going to be rolling over and that this could be a real move to the upside. And the hourly volume that we saw that confirmed this move was also a very good sign. Roberto says, are you shorting the market right now? Absolutely not. I think this is the worst market to be shorting. If you're going to be shorting, I would be shorting, you know, uh, value stocks, because I think that, as Kathy Wood says, tech right now is in deep value territory, and that includes Bitcoin. So you don't want to be shorting something that has already seen over 40% downside from its previous all-time highs and is still a very bullish asset fundamentally. That's not the time to be shorting. So I would not be shorting. Matter of fact, we've been going long on many different altcoins because we know that's where the money is moving, and that's where we're going to see even further upside than Bitcoin. So for those in the Discord, we've been taking a lot of long positions on altcoins. So very nice to see this with 44,800 as the major resistance. That's all we need to do to confirm potentially 50,000 back on the table. We just have to get above 44,800 hourly and 4-hour confirmations, and we'll be good to go. And with that, thank you all for tuning into the Snipers channel today. I just wanted to throw out this quick update. We're seeing exactly what we want. All of the puzzle pieces are starting to fall into the favor of the bulls, seeing a reversal here with Bitcoin. And so it's going to be exciting to see how this plays out over the next few days. The DXY dropping today with the inflation news was also a very positive sign for the cryptocurrency market in the short-term outlook. So with that, I appreciate each and every one of you snipers tuning in the channel. I'm going to wrap up this live stream. I'll see you guys on the Discord. Until next time, snipers